Hello and welcome to the weather update. It is about 7:30 on July 18th, 2019, and some more showers popping up across the area and storms over New Jersey. And we had actually a pretty heavy shower. It looked like there was a flash flood warning out in effect. You can see that little square actually still in effect. Going right, it looks like right along Hempstead Turnpike there. We'll have to take a look at the higher resolution radar. With that one, it's still going a little bit. And then we had a couple of other small showers develop across the area, but New Jersey got hit a lot harder. And so we're going to look at the radar now, and we're actually going to look at go back a little bit in the radar and look at the radar around 5 o'clock or so. Let's maybe back that up a little more. There was a really small cell that hit right around 5 o'clock. Actually, it's 3 o'clock. I'm sorry. We got to go a little further. So you can see this really small shower that was literally a tiny shower that we got in Hicksville. You could see it actually intensified right there. You could see it right there. Tiny shower. It went right over Hicksville. Literally, it was the northern part of Hicksville and Jericho it went over, and that was it. It was tiny. It was a tiny cell that we got, but it poured for a good. It was pouring, and then it stopped, and then it poured again. You could see it because it formed a second cell right there. And it was coming down at a pretty good clip. But most of the action, as far as severe thunderstorms were, was over Toms River. And this whole area of Ocean County got hit very hard. So if we look at the radar here, you can see this really strong cell that hit Toms River around 3 o'clock or so. It looks like it went through South Toms River, Bayville, and then more popped up. And this whole area popped up and hit Barnegat, Stafford, Waretown, in this whole area. And that's what's going to lead up to next. So you can see, look at this heavy rain that's been going on in that area. And maybe because the temperatures are warmer, maybe that's why they have. No, not really. That's not what it is. It's not that the temperatures are warmer. It's just the humidity in the air and this little disturbance that's moving through that's caused this to occur. So when we look at we're going to go and look at the rainfall rainfall in a moment, but you can see here we have a report of vehicles stuck in high floodwaters by the Stafford Police Department. So here you go. Here are some pictures of what it looked like in Stafford Township, which is south of Toms River. So a flash flood warning was issued for Ocean County until 6:45 p.m. Because of this. And this is what it looked like on Route 72. So take a look at this. There's a video that we can look at here. Let me if we can get the sound on. This just flood. Look at the flooding here. So they got a lot of rain in this area, and we're gonna actually let's just watch the video, and then we're gonna look at some observations and take a look at the rain. It was another day of severe weather, not so much over Long Island, but this time New Jersey really once again got hit very hard, particularly Ocean County. And there were a lot of power outages too, I believe, from the storm. People are driving through it, and they shouldn't drive through it. Very dangerous. So if we go and we look at Twitter, you see here there was a flash flood warning: Toms River, Browns Mills, Beechwood until 6:45 p.m. So it has expired now, but it has caused the storm has caused power outages, I believe, in Toms River. Let's see if we have any information on that. Traffic conditions, Toms River, power outage. There was a big power outage in Toms River. Let's see if we can get information on that. So there is nothing. All right, that's nice. That's nice. There was I read somewhere that on another site that there was a power outage, but of course. Nothing about, let's see, maybe Beechwood. We'll try that. Nothing. I don't know, John. I don't know. I just don't know what's with people. I don't know why they're not tweeting about it. But anyway, there was a power outage that knocked out. You know, let me go to Toms River Patch. I know there was a big power outage in Toms River today. And I don't know why nobody on Twitter is talking about it. Just don't get it. So here we go. 28,000 people lose power in the severe weather. Yeah, here we go. So 28,000 lose power in severe weather thunderstorms This is looks like there's been some storm damage. So the National Weather Service issued several alerts for bad weather in New Jersey, and 30,000 without power, with many areas in north and central still impacted by the Wednesday storms. All right, so here is flash flood warning was issued for Ocean, Monmouth, Burlington. Okay, so they were all in Charles River. Traffic lights were out on Route 37. All right, so that's a major road, and here is what we had. So in Berkeley, a township, 8,370. Toms River, 4,030. Most of these people have been restored. Lakewood. These areas have been hit very hard. Looks like Berkeley Township got hit very hard by the power outages, so probably due to lightning strikes. JCP&L always seems to have issues with that, with lightning knocking out the power. So now let's look and see how much rain they got down there, because that's really what it's all about with these storms. Is they really dumped a lot of rain. So we're going to look at some of these observations now and get some rainfall reports here. So Toms River proper actually didn't get that much, only a half an inch, but it depends, because the storms kind of went like this west and south of Toms River. So it looks like you have a report of 2.97 inches in Holiday City, so nearly 3 inches of rain. 2.28 in Bayville, 1.33 in South Toms River, and as we go into Berkeley Township, we have 2.78, 2.86, and it gets even worse as you go into Stafford and Oh my God! Look at these rainfall amounts. So in Barnegat Township, you have almost 5 inches of rain, 4.95 inches of rain. So can you imagine the kind of flooding that can cause? 5.168 in Ocean Acres, 5.7, another reading of 5.7 inches. So this area got pummeled. There may need to be a disaster declaration for this. That's a lot of rain. There's going to be a severe flooding, and I'm sure we'll see more images of it to come. But of course, you know, these things just don't get reported in the media. Stafford, 4.51. So this is really bad, a really bad situation. This area just got pounded with severe rainfall amounts. That is really something. And yet, when you go north of it, not that much. So you could see the south, like Toms River, like it was only the southern part of Toms River that really got hit hard by that storm. But wow, that is very impressive, for sure. A very impressive amount of rain. For Long Island, let's go look at Long Island. If it'll show us Long Island and not get stuck, because there were a couple of small cells that popped up across the area, like we talked about, and I'm curious to see the numbers from them. So not too much, only 0.36 from that cell. It wasn't that bad, but there was a cell, this cell that we spoke that had a flash flood warning out. You see 1.83, 1.84 West Hempstead, 1.34. So this area right around Hempstead out to maybe East Meadow got hit hard by that particular cell. So yeah, a lot of heavy rainfall amounts, and we're gonna look at the observations now and see if we can get some weather service observations and see what the airport's got. I'm not even gonna bother with Long Island's. Most of the action, of course, with the heavy rain is in New Jersey, so I'm curious to see what the Robert J. Miller Air Park west of Toms River got, and it's saying not available for temperature. Hopefully the rainfall is reporting, and they didn't get much, so it just missed them. So it's very localized, hit Berkeley Township, but it didn't hit west of Toms River. That's very interesting. So you can see here all these warnings on the map. All right, we have excessive heat warnings. It looks like we have an excessive heat warning now for our area now. So an excessive heat warning has now been issued for our area, entire area. I haven't seen one of these in a long time. So we're going to look at the excessive heat warning right now that's been posted for our area. All right, so this is what we are going to be dealing with. All right, heat index values around 105 on Friday and around 110 on Saturday and Sunday. This is not actually this is for inland. I'm reading the wrong one. All right, this is for Long Island. Excessive heat warning is from 6 a.m. Saturday to 8 p.m. Sunday. So for Long Island, we'll be dealing with the worst of it on the weekend, but there's still a heat advisory in effect from noon Friday to 6 a.m. on Saturday. So the heat index values are going to be 95 to 104 on Friday and up to 110 on Saturday, and we all know the dangers of heat. So the best thing, just avoid being outside. Stay in air conditioning. Don't go outside. And Tom's River is going to be absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal there. It's going to be absolutely awful. The heat, it's going to be unbelievable what's going on. So I want to see if they came up with any public information statements about that storm, and then we'll go and start looking at the models. Let's see if they did or they didn't. With Philadelphia, it's always hard to, see if they're going to come up with one or not. So let's see if we can get a public information statement on rainfall. All right, there's one at 1:50 p.m. That was for a severe thunderstorm wind event. And let me also bring up that there was 3 houses struck by lightning in the storms yesterday. So, all right. So here they do have some things. They don't have a whole compilation here of them. So we'll go to older. Flash flood in Somerset. Flash flood in Burlington. Middlesex. I'm surprised they're not talking about Stafford. Okay, let's take a look at the models and see what's heading our way. Yes, I heard on News 12 that there were 3. Oh yeah, here you go. Carl Place. There was a house struck by lightning, but I don't think they have it on the website. So I normally don't look at News 12, but let's see if we can find it. Seems I saw a report on News 12 about 3 homes being struck by lightning. Yes, here we go. Nassau. Lightning sparks 3 fires at Long Island home. So I'm not going to play the story, but this is what happened here. So here we go. At least I found it. So firefighters, let me just pause this here. We're not watching the video. Firefighters responded to a home on Curtis Avenue in Carl Place after it was struck by lightning. And there was also another one in a garage nearby on Bird Avenue, and then another lightning strike where somebody actually caught this on video of a house on Birchdale Lane in Flower Hill being struck. So actually it might actually be in the video. Let's see if we can find it. Let's see if they have it. So they do have lightning here. We'll show it to you in a minute. There's a clip of lightning striking nearby. We can get that. Yeah, here we go. Here it is. So there it is. You're going to see it again. There it is. So yeah, I'm not surprised. Newsday is not talking about it, but they really buried this. They buried this. They don't want you to know what's going on. They really don't want you to know what's going on with the weather. They don't. They want to keep it in the hush because Wall Street doesn't want you to realize what's going on. All right. So this is what we got. You can see the thunderstorm tops over here on the satellite, and you can see the sun is out to the west. So we are now going to look at the models and take a look and see what is coming up for us. All right, because we have this ridge here that's going to be building, and when we look at the models and you see the way these ridges are oriented, you see those westerly isobars going through here, and that means more of a flow off the land, which means the sea breezes will be weak, and we are going to bake. Alright, I do see some rain activity on here, though, so maybe there could be some shower activity that may it's just going to be from the heat of the day, probably. And then as we go on Sunday, I just want to show you the general pattern. We have this high trying to build down. The question is, will it make it, or will the stall front be a problem? I'm hoping this high can make it down and we won't have to deal with the stall front and we can have some nice weather. I'm hoping that's what happens. I'm really hoping. But the ridge, it's very hard to break down that ridge. It's been in place for a very long time. That is the solution on the GFS. The Euro has moved that front a little more offshore, so I'm hoping the Euro is correct. We're going to look at that a little. Actually, we are going to look at that right now. So let me go to windy.com to show you the Euro solution. All right, so you can get an idea of what this is going to look like. All right, and I'm going to put this on radar and satellite so you can see. Show you it may not work. We can do temperature. I want to just have a regular. All right, we can do that. All right, so dew point. Yeah, dew point will tell us. So let's go and look at Tuesday here, and I'll show you the front here. So the Euro pushes it much further south. Much further to the south. So I'm hoping the Euro is right. And, GFS is trying to come around to that conclusion. Let's see if we can. Yes, you can see here that front gets pushed to the south. Wednesday is clear. Maybe not Tuesday. Probably have some clouds, but Wednesday is clear. So hopefully that we can have get that front passed, and Thursday is too. So hang in there. Better weather for next week. So let's go back to the GFS here, and because whatever reason is this site, viewers ask where I get these. I use Tropical Tidbits for the models generally, but Windy has a better. This only gives limited products for the Euro. So for the Euro ECMWF, I'll use Windy. For the satellite, I'll usually just use the Weather Service. Ventusky for radar and temperature diagrams, and Wonderground for neighborhood observations, the Weather Service for airport observations. So let's go a little closer and see what is coming our way as we head into the, we'll move this back up over here, as we head into the steam bath and the oven that we are going to be dealing with. So as we head into Friday, you will see the temperatures heat up mostly in New Jersey. We could have 95 to 100 in New Jersey, very much likely. On Long Island, probably 90 to 95 in the middle of the island, and then if you look closely, you'll see on the South Shore there will be more of a sea breeze, so they'll tend to be in the 80s. The real heat doesn't come until for Long Island doesn't come until Saturday. Now we blaze. But look at this. Why does it have this cooler area here over Jersey? That's interesting. That's got to be some kind of anomaly there. Has Long Island in the mid-90s, but it backed off a little bit. It backed off a little bit from the 100 degrees. I'm very interested to see why that is. And then as we go into Sunday, now we go up to almost 100 degrees everywhere. No sea breeze. I'm interested to why it did that. And then for Monday, look at that. A big drop in temperature. He hangs on in New Jersey, but the front makes it through New York and Long Island. Temperatures drop. And then as we head into Tuesday, you see significant drops, only in the 70s. Probably a lot of cloud cover with that front around. And then we recover into the mid-80s for Wednesday with some sunshine. Not going to go beyond that on the GFS because we got to focus on this heat mainly. So, of course, it's not just about the heat. It's about the humidity. So now we go and we look at the dew points. You see these dew points, 65 to 70. So it's going to feel a lot worse than it is, than the actual air temperature. But just be glad that we're not in this. Look what's off to our west. Dew points near 80 degrees. So imagine dealing with that. Luckily, we have this little bit of dry air that's over us. Off to our west, they're in the tongue of that. But I think that tongue starts moving toward us on Saturday. And now we start seeing those dew points in the mid and upper 70s getting closer to us. Maybe near some 80-degree dew points. No sea breeze. We're going to die here. And then we get into Sunday. And look at that. Now the dew points still remain pretty high. And it looks like there does try to be a sea breeze. But again, you look at these dew. It's what you call dew point pooling. And the dew points are pooling on the west side of the Appalachians here. So luckily we have the Appalachians that are kind of blocking it a little bit for us, which is very good. And then you see that front approach Monday, dropping dew points. Look at that. Dew points go even further down on Tuesday, and still lower on Wednesday. But that front is kind of in the vicinity. We're going to have to see just how far that front makes it, and that's a long way off, when you're dealing with these models. So I'm curious as to why the GFS has that little cool spot over New Jersey on Saturday. It must be generating some precipitation. Yes, it is. It's generating a little precipitation, so I'm wondering if that, and then it brings in more precipitation Sunday. So if you do have this rain, it could help limit the heat a little bit, if we have it. I think it's just this run doing it. I think this run may be a little bit off in regards to that. So we're going to go to the NAM next and look at the NAM and see if the NAM is really generating much shower activity, and it's not. It looks like it's generating something overnight north of us tomorrow night, but then it falls apart. So let's see how hot the NAM gets it now. You're going to remember the NAM is a little colder, of course. It's got a bit of a cold bias to it. So as we go into Friday, you see, yeah, it really heats up in Jersey, well into the 90s. Long Island, I think this thing will be near 90, but the general trend is it's going to be a lot worse in Jersey and not quite as bad on Long Island. Now let's head to Saturday. Saturday, NAM cranks the heat everywhere, and Toms River is going to hit 100 Saturday. I think Toms River hits 100 Saturday, if not tomorrow. They might even get close to 100 tomorrow. And then Sunday, it doesn't go far enough out for that with the heat. And then we'll look at the dew points too on this. Show you again the combination with these really high dew points, and I think these dew points are going to tend to be higher, like 76, 77 on Saturday. So you're going to really have this really bad humidity along with the and tomorrow too. Look at these high dew points. So I think the GFS is underestimating these dew points a little bit. I noticed since they've you can see a little push of dry air there toward the end. I'm wondering if that'll bring us some relief from higher dew points on Sunday, but it'll still be very hot. So let's see if we can look at some other models here. RGM. RGM doesn't do dew points. Okay. Well, what about temperatures? Do temperatures. I'm curious to see that. Look at this. So look at how hot RGM gets it for Friday. You can actually see it looks like a little sea breeze there. That's Saturday. Let's look at Friday. Has the heat pumping over Jersey on Friday, not so much over our area. So there are some uncertainties with it. Obviously, the GFS seems to have some erratic behavior here. Let's look at the ICON model as well. Back this up to Friday. ICON has, again, most of the heat in New Jersey. Long Island escapes it. For Saturday, yeah, it's going to be, where you see this white, it's going to be close to 100. Like I said, I think Jersey's going to 100. Long Island, probably mid to upper 90s. Sunday, there's more of a westerly component, and this one, I think both Jersey and Long Island could get close to 100 degrees. So some extreme heat is definitely on the way. So I think that concludes this weather update. Again, seeing the pink on the map all over, even on Long Island, means that we have some extreme heat hitting our way. So I will say again, if you, I can't say it enough. Again, it's the next 3 days, I think, particularly for Long Island, Saturday and Sunday. Just avoid spending much time outside. Drink plenty of water, and you know, I could say is you know, if you have a car, you consider yourself lucky. Those of us who have to take public transportation, it's not going to be easy. That's for sure. And of course, with the track work going on this weekend, I'm not going to really talk about that, but again, not providing shuttle buses in this heat. People, you know, I'll just give this my word on this, and that is that the railroad should be ashamed of themselves. And yes, I'm actually going to call out State Senator Anna Kaplan. I shouldn't do this, but you know, I shouldn't do this in a weather update. But I contacted her office now twice, and she hasn't done diddly squat for us. That's why I voted for Elaine Phillips. I knew she wouldn't do diddly squat. She's going to do whatever Todd Kaminsky tells her to do. So I shouldn't even say this in the weather update, but because it has to do with people that are now going to have to walk and be out in the heat more because of this, because they're not providing shuttle buses, that it becomes a weather issue. And I'm really concerned about the safety of people in those areas that are being affected. I can tell you, just stay home. I don't know what to tell you, you know, at this point. You know, stay home or try to get a ride, you know, or get ripped off by a taxi, Uber, or Lyft. Or you can take nice bus and take a chance on the bus showing up. In that heat, they're going to be dropping like flies. So, again, if we look at the forecast for Westbury, I'll just put this in here. This is my old town, Westbury, which is, you know, completely forgotten. But, you know, I still feel bad that people are getting stranded and nobody's really doing anything about it. 73, and here's the forecast. So 97 and 96. So yeah, that's right. I'd like to see Anna Kaplan wait for a bus in the heat, in this kind of heat. You know, this is what it is. I'm sorry I had to call her out, but I shouldn't do this. But you know what? People's lives are at risk. Nobody seems to give a darn about, you know, the exposure to this extreme climate, especially now more than ever as we're dealing with these extreme conditions. People need reliable transportation. They can't be standing outside being exposed to these kind of conditions because you won't provide shuttle buses. It's completely unacceptable. I'm sorry, but that and the Long Island Railroad and MTA and, you know, I mean, there's got to be some law that's being violated somewhere. All right? That's all I'm going to say, but I'm not going to report on it. You know to tune to my colleagues for that. I shouldn't have even brought it up in this video, but because it does have something to do with the weather, I had to add a few cents to it. So anyway, that does wrap up this video. Thank you for watching.